Well, yes, it's a great pleasure to welcome you to the maiden edition of Pension Port. This program is brought to you by Trust Fund Pensions Limited. And I'm excited to kickstart this journey of enlightening and empowering you on all things pension. On this program, we will be discussing all you need to know about pension, how to plan for your retirement, and the benefits of partnering with Trust Fund Pensions Limited. And joining me today is my guest, the very first guest on the show. And she is the head of the Customer Support Service Department, Mrs. Emir Esiri Oshodi. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence.
It's a pleasure to have you on our maiden edition of the show.
Thank you.
All right, we will be discussing why Trust Fund Pensions is the best choice for your pension needs. So let's get started all the way. All right. Okay. Welcome back to the show. Trust Fund, your pension, your power. This is the first edition of the program. And this week, we are looking at unpacking the contributory pension scheme. What is the CP and why does it matter? And no other person to do this than our guest. Let's start, madam. Let's start with the basis. What exactly is the contribution pension scheme?
Thank you. The contributory pension scheme is one of the most revolutionary schemes that have come into play in Nigeria. In fact, there was a World Bank report that adjudged it as one of the most regulated schemes. It's very important because prior to 2004, the federal government, a lot of state governments and private sector organizations had deficits in their pension payments. If you recollect at that time, you could tune into NTA News and they'll show retirees at strategic locations having protests, going about milling, long traveled from home and waiting for their pensions. But the contributory pension scheme, like the name, strictly declares, is contributory. So the employer is contributing, the employee is contributing, and there is a regulator, the National Pension Commission, that is like the umpire in the game. And between the pension fund administrators and the pension fund custodians, there are strict guidelines on separation of control. So the pension fund administrators open the retirement savings accounts for the retirement savings account holders, the employees. However, they do not hold the funds. The funds are warehoused by the pension fund custodian in different investments, different platforms. So it's not like there's a place where that money is stashed like, a safe. The monies are in different investments and the funds are unitized for every individual. Every retirement savings account holder has their funds unitized and watches the growth per time. So that's what makes it very, very critical, because from the beginning of when you start working or at whatever time you get employed, you will have your retirement savings account, your employer will be contributing, you'll be contributing, and then you watch your funds unroll and grow for your secured future. So that's very revolutionary.
Okay, so why was the CPS introduced in the first place?
Okay, like I spoke about earlier on, I told you that prior to the PRA 2004, which was amended in 2014, we had in Nigeria what was known as the Defined Benefit Scheme. The Defined Benefit Scheme, by the way, was a very generous scheme. However, as generous as it was, it lacked the control for funding. It was largely unfunded, so you could term it as a pay as you go. Meaning, at whatever time that people retired, if there were funds in the coffers, they get paid. If there were no funds, they don't get paid. If they knew somebody that knew somebody, they could get paid. And if they didn't know somebody that knew somebody that could influence things, they won't get paid. So it was always in deficit. People were frustrated, and working was kind of frustrating because at retirement, there was absolutely no trust that you get your pension. So it made people to be emotionally unbalanced and frustrated when getting close to retirement. So, the federal government looked at all of this, and that was by the president, Olusegun Obasanjo, and said we can't continue like this. And they set up a panel known as the Fola Adiola Committee, and they took decisions that led to the birth of the contributory pension scheme.
For those who are listening now and wondering, who is covered under the CPS?
Absolutely everybody is covered under the contributory pension scheme. Now we have the formal sector employees, formal sector employers, we have the informal sector employees and employers. So let's break it down.
Okay.
For the formal sector, for every organization that has up to 3 employees and above, everybody is covered under the contributory pensions scheme. So for those who are self-employed, like people that sell stuff in the market, artisans, people that run their own businesses, people that are into tech, lawyers or whatever it is, that they run their own business. We also have what is known as the micro pension plan, MPP. In that plan, they decide what they want to contribute, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually, or whatever time, and they set it. And the good thing about that is that you can make those contributions from your phone once the PFA gives you the access to make your contributions, and you have your national identity number, which is germane to opening a retirement savings account. So absolutely everybody is covered under the contributory pensions scheme.
And someone will be wondering, how much do employees and even employers contribute under this scheme?
Okay, yeah, so let's look at how much employees and employers contribute, because there are some little controversies about that. The employer would contribute a minimum of 10%. I'm very careful the choice of my words. Minimum, because the law empowers...
So it can be more than that?
Yes, the law empowers employers to actually do more. And when they do more, it's known as additional contributions, right? The employers are encouraged to do that. And then for the employee will do a maximum of 8% under deductions from his or her salary. However, the employee could also do more under AVC, which is known as additional voluntary contribution. So statutorily, you're looking at 18%. However, the employer can do more, and the employee can also do more under additional voluntary contribution. And again, an employer could say, I do not want my employees to make any contribution, meaning the employer will be doing the 10% that is statutorily obligatory, and then the 8% that the employee is supposed to contribute. And then you have some employers that even add more to that, topping it up to as much as 20%, 21, 22, 23, 24, up to 25%. So those are the clear-cut contribution guidelines.
Oh, well, if you're just joining us, this is a maiden edition of the program, Your Pension, Your Power. And my guest is Mrs. Emiasiri Oshodi. She is the head of the Customer Support Service Department of Trust Funds Limited. And don't forget that we can also get feedback from you now. Any moment from now, the phone lines are open. You can call us on 0903 2229 797. You can also call us on 0818 2222 205. Anything pension, let us know. Trust Funds Pension Limited is here for you. And don't forget that our live stream is also on YouTube. You can type in this program now, and you will be able to listen to us from anywhere you are on earth. And also, you can listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng. And not forgetting our social media platforms on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, and also Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and on X Citizen FM 937. So that's how it's going to be. All right, Madam, let's move on to some other issues. Why should the average Nigerian even care about this contributory pension scheme in the first place?
The average Nigerian should care about his future. The average Nigerian should care about financial control and power. The average Nigerian should care about his or her dignity. You know, when I was speaking, I spoke about the events prior to 2004. I do not think that was very dignifying to have people work and not be certain they'll get something at retirement. The good thing about this scheme, if you know one or two things about the law, is that that money is untouchable for whatever reason. You know, in the past, people could work and they could get into trouble with the employers, and as a way of punishing them, of sanctioning them, they'll hold on to their retirements or their entitlements. But you know this scheme, that money is yours for life. People should be
nothing touches it.
Nothing touches it. It's a law that says every worker is worthy of his hire for the period he or she worked. So I believe whatever that would say you are entitled to the things you labored for, no matter what happens, was saying that you labored for this is yours, and when you retire, you'll get it. Every Nigerian should be concerned about that. And wants to join the contributory pension scheme. It's a game changer, honestly.
Okay, and so what happens to the money in your RSA if you change jobs?
Fantastic. The retirement savings account works with what is known as a personal identification number, or PIN. And that PIN is portable. That PIN is a unique identifier for life. So if I leave trust fund today, let's say I join another organization, I'll just go to that place and give them my retirement savings account PIN. And once they put it on the system, that organization can automatically start remitting into that same retirement savings account. So it's portable, it's movable, it's unique, and it's for life.
And how does trust fund pensions ensure that people's contributions are safe and well managed? You know, people are really very apprehensive about stuff like this.
Trust fund ensures that people's contributions are safe by adhering strictly to regulatory control. That's number one. I told you there was a World Bank report that had judged the contributory pension scheme as one of the safest and most controlled schemes ever that have come into play in Nigeria. So we adhere strictly to regulatory control and guidelines. Outside that, we have our fiduciary platforms. We invest these funds, and we have a management team that is very dexterous. We have a management team that is very much in control of our investments. So we invest strictly on approved platforms. We don't go outside that. That doesn't mean that we're not interested in getting our contributors income on their retirement savings account. But the thing is that no matter how much we want to do that, we ensure the sanctity and the safety of the funds. So what we're consistently looking at is the safety, the sanctity of the funds, and ensuring that our contributors get a very healthy income at the end of each investment cycle. And you can attest to that by watching the NAV. Yeah, if you watch your NAV, and with our Trust Fund Mobile, you can also be checking your balance. If you want to check it every day, you can check it every day, because valuation is run on a daily basis. Valuation is what shows what came into your account on a day-to-day basis. So you can check all of that. And leveraging technology, we show all of this to our customers. So yeah, we're very concerned about the safety of funds while ensuring that our customers also get a very healthy income.
All right, you're listening to Trust Funds, Your Pension, Your Power. And my guest is Mrs. Emo Esiri Oshodi. She is the head Customer Support Service Department of Trust Funds Pension, and she has been giving us updates on everything pension on the show. And don't forget that it's a maiden edition of the show, and we are looking at unpacking the contributory pension scheme. We will take a short break now, and when we return, don't forget that the phone lines are open. You can interact with us. Anything pension.
Moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7, Citizen FM. A people united will never be defeated.
Did you miss out on the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Musu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy.
Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Trust Funds, Your Pension, Your Power on 93.7 FM, Citizen FM, Abuja. It's our maiden edition of the program, and we are unpacking the contributory pension scheme. My guest is Mrs. Emo Esiri Oshodi, Head of Customer Support Service Department, Trust Funds Limited. And we are gradually rounding off. Madam, let's look at, we've pretty much covered a lot of ground on this show, but so, let's see, okay, any final words on why the CPS is a game changer?
My final words would be to encourage every Nigerian at whatever type of employment you are in to ensure that you leverage on a contributory pension scheme. If you are an employee with a formal organization, I want to encourage you to always check your retirement savings account. I want to ask you to check if your employer is actually making remittances and in the values that it should be making. It is your right. You're empowered by law to do that. It's not a favor, it's your right. I also want to encourage people that are in the informal sector to look at the possibility of opening their micro pension plans. You could do that from the comfort of your desk. You could do that from the comfort of your phone set. Agree on whatever contributions you want to make, whether weekly, monthly, quarterly, or however it is you want it. You also deserve to have something at the end of your work lifespan to fall back on. And I also want to encourage people who generally do not take interest in their retirement savings account to please take more interest in their retirement savings account. So you're 20 today, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, but a day is coming, you'll retire, and who knows, your pensions may be all that you have to fall back on. So in that regards, I'll encourage everybody to support this laudable project, the contributory pension scheme. It is not just a game changer, it's a lifesaver, and is your power in your hands.
Okay, I would also, before we go, want you to talk to us on the Trust Fund Interactive Virtual Assistance and the mobile app launch, which is in 6 days' time, I think.
That's all right. So we have an app currently that is known as Trust Fund Tiva. Tiva is a Trust Fund Interactive Virtual Assistant. It's run on a WhatsApp platform. So if you have a smartphone that is WhatsApp enabled, you could just save 0907 008 8008. I'll take that again. 0907 008 8008. Just save it on WhatsApp and say hello. Once you say hello, you'll be onboarded, and our Trust Fund Interactive Virtual Assistant will reply back and ask you what you want and take it up from there. And like you said, in 6 days' time, something new, something big,
It's happening.
something more techy than Activa is going to be onboarded. And I encourage everyone that is a Trust Fund customer or a would-be Trust Fund customer, because I encourage everybody to also transfer to Trust Fund Pensions Limited. And I'm asking you to stay tuned, because if ever there was an app that answered every question, if ever there was an app that gave control, that gave answers to everything you needed to know in your contributory pension scheme, our soon to be launched mobile app would be just that platform. And I can tell you, it's going to be an app like never ever before. It's going to give an incredible experience, personal, germane, solid, and an app you can trust.
That's absolutely, yeah. I'm sure that a lot of people listening will be like, yes, this is the place to be. Trust Fund
Absolutely.
Pension, the place to be. So that was incredibly enlightening, madam. Thank you so much for helping us break down the contributory pension scheme. Thank you so much.
The pleasure was ours. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's our package on Trust Funds Pension, Your Power. And remember to listen to us, and this program, Your Pension, is not a mystery. It's your right, your future, your power. Stay tuned for more editions of Trust Fund Pensions. Your